Hello, YouTube. Welcome to another exciting game of card play, Deaths of Athazar, the best card game in the Middle East. This is a game between Ali Ahmed and Faris Othman, played this time at Zamel Village in Khobar, Saudi Arabia. And there's an interesting story behind one of the players. Ali saw one of my posts on Instagram, was curious about the game, and sent me a message that he wanted to come and play. And of course, I never say no to a new player, so I gave him our location. And now I thought he was in the area, maybe like 10 minutes away, but come to find out, he came up from Hafuf. And if you know anything about Saudi Arabia, Hafuf is about 2 hours away from Dhahran, where we are. And to be honest, I didn't expect him to show up from so far away, but sure enough, he drove the 2 hours to come play with us, and I was glad he came. So let's look at this game between Ali and Faris. All right, both of them are pretty much amateur players, so I try not to judge them too harshly. All right. As always, we'll start the game with each player being dealt 7 cards. All right. And now, as we can see the cards on the screen, in actuality, the players cannot. Okay. We had pretty much 2 cameras running over each guy's shoulders, and we were able to record their play for the video. Okay, and let's first start off looking at Faris' hand. He has a hunter, a brawler, an assassin, a magician, an archer, a princess, and a brawler. He has a magician, which allows him to get rid of a pair of cards. So he has a pair of brawlers, and he also has that powerful princess card, which can be played as any other character in the deck. So it's just a question of whether he wants to use the princess as a magician or just go ahead and use the magician that he already has, and kind of save the princess for later. And Ali hand is a pretty basic hand. He has no pairs, but he does have that powerful assassin which can kill any cards off. And he also has a merchant, which allows him to swap his hand with another player. And if he uses it quite well, he can force Faris to swap that princess over to him. And each player, again, has hunters, and he has a warrior and an archer. So I'm thinking on the pass, they're going to be passing over the hunters. All right. And the game always starts off with the pass phase. And so Ali and Faris went ahead and did the pass. Okay. Now, Faris did something that was very unusual. He decided not to pass a hunter over. He decided just to went ahead and pass one brawler, while Ali went ahead and passed over a hunter and a brawler. All right. And then Faris went first, and he used his magician to kill off the hunters. I guess he's trying to get rid of those hunters real fast, so they won't be passed between players, because sometimes hunters can become a nuisance and can keep you from winning the game if a hunter is being constantly passed back and forth. All right, Ali responds with Archer killing Brawler. He wants to kind of use that Archer right away, because even though an Archer kills even numbers, it's pretty difficult for an Archer and an even number to be in the same hand. So he's kind of using him as soon as possible. All right. So after the play phase, they have done the play phase. Then we do the deal phase. Each player gets 1 card from the deck. All right. Faris gets another. I mean, I'm sorry. Ali gets another brawler, and Faris gets a powerful prince. Then we do the pass phase again. So we just go through the process of pass, play, and deal until a winner emerges. Right. So this time on the pass phase, all right. Fires pass over the brawler, so they're pretty much passing brawler for brawler. Ali decides to take his brawler and kill off the sailor, and Faris takes the princess and kills off two brawlers. So Faris decides to use his princess and his magician to get rid of 4 cards from the jump. And also by doing that, he has equalized the card game because there are 3 cards to 3 cards. All right, then we do the deal. Faris gets a sailor, a very weak card, and Ali gets the wise man. They do the pass. All right, Faris passes his sailor. Sorry, Faris passes his sailor, and Ali passes the wise man. And Faris decides to take advantage of his prince, forcing Ali to take from the deck, getting another wise man. So Faris is trying to increase Ali's numbers while reducing his. But Ali responds with the assassin killing the wise man. And as you can see, Ali is holding off to that merchant just in case if Faris gets down to one card and he has more cards. So I guess he wasn't really concerned that he got an extra prince because the more cards he has, it just gives him an incentive just to go ahead and trade the hands, which is a smart move. One of the strategies that we try to stress in our videos is to always try to keep at least one disruption card in your hand. All right, Faris gets another sailor. Ali gets the hunter. Okay. Then they do the swap. And Ali passes over the hunter, and Faris passes over the hunter sailor. Okay, let me see if I said that right. Okay, so Faris passed over the sailor, and Ali passed over the hunter sailor. Okay. All right, then we play phase, and because Ali went first, and he saw that Faris had more cards, there was no real use to use the merchant at this point, so he went ahead and just killed him off with the warrior, leaving him with one sailor. All right. And Faris goes ahead and kills his assassin with the archer, making sure he's keeping that hunter to use on the pass. All right. During the deal phase, Ali gets a prince, and Faris gets a sorcerer. 2 very powerful cards. Both cards will cause you to get an extra card, but the sorcerer works a little differently from the prince. The prince forces you to get a card from the deck, but the sorcerer allows you to eliminate a card, but also feeding another card to another player. But the difference is that with the sorcerer, you have more control on which card your opponent gets because you get to choose, as opposed to a random card out of the deck, which is the prince's powers. All right. Then we do the pass. Okay. That again. We do the pass, hunter, sailor for sailor. And then Faris went ahead and used his sorcerer as expected, increasing Ali's hand from 3 to 4. And you see how in this game, let me just go back. You can see how in this game how even if you're down to 1 card in Deaths of Athazar, that does not necessarily mean that you are on your way to victory because of the disruption cards allows you to gain more cards, and if you're not careful, um, you can end up in a worse position that you were in before because of that hunter sailor pass. It increased his card count from 2 to 3, and because Ali didn't have a hunter to pass over, and remember, Forrest killed off two of the hunters already. And if you know anything about the deck, there are only 5 hunters in the deck, so both players know that 2 of them are at least gone. All right, so now pretty much looking at this hand, Ali has the stronger hand because he has a hunter sailor, which allows him to pass 2, and he also has a prince, which allows him to give an extra card to the player. As far as points go, he has 24 points. Even though Forrest has 26 points, that doesn't necessarily talk about the powers. Okay? Actually, Ali has a stronger hand at this point. All right, Ali, because it's Forrest's turn, uh, he has the token. He went first and decided to take his sorcerer and give Ali uh, an extra sailor. But you know the the most basic response to that is to go ahead and just try to equalize as much as possible. So he went ahead and played the prince, and see again the difference between the sorcerer and the prince. Um, Even though Faris played the sorcerer, forcing Ali to gain 1 card, uh, Ali forced Faris to gain another card, but he doesn't have control of which card to give. And because the cards from the deck are random, um, Ali doesn't know if Faris is going to get a good a good killer card or a rotten effect card. And by playing the Prince, Forrest got actually a very good killer card, the Assassin, which is probably the second most powerful card in the deck after the Princess. All right, so we go ahead and do the deal phase. All right, Ali gets a sorcerer, Forrest gets a warrior. They do the pass. All right. And Forrest decided to pass his weakest card, which is the Wise Man. And Ali, of course, passing over that Hunter Sailor. All right. Then Ali plays the Sorcerer, upping Forrest's card count up to 5. And Forrest responds by killing off his Sailor. All right. And we're going to see that Forrest probably is going to use his Hunter now that he sees Ali is down to 1 card. But they have to do the deal. So Forrest gets the Renegade, and Ali gets another Sailor. Okay. 2 Sailors is pretty crappy. But and since Forrest has a Hunter, he's not really worried about what Ali has in his hand. He just has to figure out which 2 cards to pass him. Because, of course, he doesn't want to pass him an Assassin because an Assassin can kill any card. And I don't know if he was counting the cards or not, or keeping track of which cards were going back and forth between them. But he definitely doesn't want to pass over the Renegade if he knows that Ali has one of the Sailors, because a Renegade will kill a Sailor. Renegades kill odd numbers. Okay. So he went ahead and passed over the Wise Man. Yeah, he just passed over the Wise Man, and Fries passed over a Sailor. I guess he was counting the cards. I guess he already knew Ali had a Sailor. But I don't know. I don't understand how he He probably knew that he had one of the sailors, but he didn't know on the pass. Trying to make a strategy. I think his strategy was to try to kill off a hunter. I don't know. So Fires goes first. He kills off a sailor with the renegade. And with a sailor, a wise man, Ali really doesn't have a kill. All right. So he decides to pass his turn instead of using the wise man to his advantage. And then Ali gets a renegade. And this time Forrest gets kind of the worst killer card you can get when you're down to three or less cards. With a magician in your hand, it's very hard to get another another pair another pair kill. Um, so if I don't know if this was me, and pretty much if this was my hand, a hunter, a magician, and assassin, I would just go ahead and pass over the hunter and the magician. Um, and Fars just went ahead and passed over the hunter for the magician, and Ali passed over the renegade. And so, uh, so Ali decides to use his wise man because he has nothing. A magician can't do anything to a wise man. A wise man can't do anything to a sailor. And neither one can do anything to a magician. So he pretty much has a dead hand, and so he's gonna have to use his wise man, and that's what he did in order to try to get a better card. And he came up with a better card by getting an assassin from the deck. All right. Faris responds by killing the renegade with the hunter. This is kind of where the moment of truth is because Faris is down to an assassin. And an assassin can kill any card. So unless Ali has a hunter plus one, pretty much Faris is going to win this game because whatever card Ali passed him on the pass is going to get killed. All right. And Faris ends up getting a hunter. Then they do the pass. All right. This is, and Ali passes his assassin over while Faris passes over his hunter. You never want to pass an assassin over. That's pretty much basic 101. But Ali, it's Faris had the token and he had Assassin Killer's Assassin to win the game. All right. So that was a very interesting game. It just goes to show you that you have to be very careful what you pass and what you keep in your hand. And actually, I thought that by not passing over the hunter, Ferris made a big mistake, but in the end, he ended up winning. And by killing off the hunter, he was keeping it from being passed back and forth. Right. So that's the end of the Game of Deaths of Athazar card game. If you would like to order the game for yourself, go to www.doacardgame.com. It's one of the best card games in the Middle East. I would say it is the best. It's sold out at the Dubai Film and Comic Con, and the Middle East Film and well, I'm getting tongue tied here. It is the Middle East Film and Comic Con in Dubai. It's sold out there. It's sold out at the UK British Expo, and it did very well at the recent Middle East Games Con in Abu Dhabi. Didn't sell out there, but it sold very well. I ended up getting a bunch of whole new customers who visited the website, liked the game, ordered some more cards for me to play with their brothers and their family members and their friends. A lot of university students loved the game. They came by and got a couple of decks from me because at the university they play a lot of card games, and the only card game that they play is Uno, and they wanted to play something that was an alternative to Uno, and they were happy to actually come across a card game that was accessible to everyone, that was easy to play. So they said that this game is right up there with their game of Uno and I don't want to give a plug out to another card game, but they said that this game was also as fun as Exploding Kittens. That's another very popular card game that university students are playing. So if you want a game that is quick and fast and easy but fun to play, just go ahead and go to the website and order a deck for yourself and have a good time. And I will see you next time with another exciting game.